Okay, what's up? What's up, everybody? Hello, my name is Michael Music, and today we are still reading Think and Grow Rich. So I've been going live and really diving deep into chapter one so far for Desire, right? And it's been kind of boring, right? I've been reading it word for word in audible form, but today my plan is to just go over like a summary of what I learned, what I liked about chapter one, and then kind of just look into the book. I underlined a lot of great things in the chapter on desire. So I was going to go through those notes and just kind of ask some questions, get us to get thinking about it, and really just I guess this is a summary. It's fair to say for what is desire. So uh, yeah, that's that. So let's just see. I'm gonna start off just reading over the underlined things. Okay, so what I found was interesting on page 25, Napoleon Hill. This was the first time in the book, and I've missed over this note plenty of times, but he talks about on the bottom of page 25. He's talking about the merchant that stayed even despite his building burning down multiple times, right? And he says that his building is now standing there today as the a towering monument to the power of that state of mind known as a burning desire. So that's the first thing I really wanted to bring attention to, because understand that he brings this up in every chapter, right? And remember, going back to the beginning of this book, Napoleon Hill mentions that no fewer than 100 times is the secret revealed on these pages. And so I was like, okay, like what's the secret about? And I noticed that as I'm going through each one of these chapters, he keeps bringing up these states of mind, right? So understand as you read through this book how important that means. Like, what does a state of mind mean? And he mentions a state of mind known as desire. And I found it really interesting because I read this book before live, and we found out there was a state of mind known as faith, state of mind known as persistence, right? And so on and so forth. And I noticed that this is what continues to come up, and we're talking about principles to really cultivate this think and grow rich philosophy, right? I don't see this as a book, so that was interesting. And also, I guess before I get into this whole summary video, I want to introduce myself. I'm Michael Music. I'm currently 22 years old, and I just had this bright idea to start diving deep into Think and Grow Rich. I actually had a mentor of mine read this book every day for 60 years of his life, and he has recently passed away. And so I figured, okay, given that Napoleon Hill has spent 20 years of his life studying the most successful people in the world to really put this philosophy together, and someone that I really looked up to spent 60 years of his life studying this book every single day, it may be worth it to me to just dive into this book, see what it's about. And so that's what I'm doing. So that was what struck me on that page. And now, continuing on the next page, I underlined this quote: every human being who reaches the age of understanding of the purpose of money wishes for it. Wishing will not bring riches, but desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches, and backing those plans with persistence, which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. Right? We typically read a book and we're looking for the entire book to really give us a grasp on like how is this going to help me get rich, right? And I thought it was really elegant the way he put this, because it was like one sentence essentially that basically describes on how to get rich, right? And it's a principle, so it doesn't matter what you're doing, right? You could be in the business of insurance, of real estate, of any business, but this is one sentence that I thought uh, just summed it up perfectly on how to get rich. He said, desiring riches with a state of mind. So here's that state of mind that we talked about: desiring riches with that state of mind that becomes an obsession, right? We talked about the word obsession and what that means. So I'll go over that. Then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches and back in those plans with persistence, which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. So I want to absolutely dive deep into that sentence. So we talked about desire, right? This whole chapter is a summary on desire. And what is a desire, right? There's a great sentence that I read. It was by my mentor Bob, but I he said something like desire is it's something within looking for expression without. It's that like potential within looking for expression without, right? Like you gotta think like desire really comes in from wants. And then once your wants are impressed on your subconscious mind, and you really feel it when you truly desire to build this wealth, right? You're gonna feel it in every cell of your body. So I guess like a way to put it is instead of teaching you something new, reminding you of what you already know. Have you ever wanted something so bad that you just felt like in every part of your body, like you had to have it, right? And you had to have it much sooner than much later. So what was that feeling like? And and what did you do with that feeling? Did that feeling put you into action? Right? So that feeling that you wanted something so bad that you felt it all over your body, that feeling was desire. And then it becomes an obsession. We talk about an obsession, right? And there's two sides to the word obsession. You can be obsessed with something and it's actually very negative, right? A lot of negative terms with obsession. But I noticed the rich look at the word obsession on the positive side. They look at it like a powerful word. Like if you truly become obsessed with becoming rich and become like acquiring your dreams, right? Like that becomes a good thing. You become obsessed with your goal. You can't stop thinking about it. It is running through your mind all day, right? It becomes an obsession. So we talk about desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, and then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches, right? You're not going to get rich working hard. I felt like that's been proven to me multiple times. And if it hasn't been proven to you, I'll explain right now, right? I know so many construction workers out there that are putting in this like manual labor 10 times harder than I am personally working, right? I'm just a professional salesman. I'm an engineer in sales. And so they're putting all this like heavy labor using all their muscles, right? But they're gonna stay where they're at because day in and day out they're doing the same habitual pattern, just clocking into work, putting in the time, using all their strength, really working hard, clocking out at 5, going home to their family, resting the rest of the night, and then repeat, right? So they're in this cycle, this cycle which I like to call the rat race, right? And even though they're working hard, they're not getting rich. So what does that mean? Why do I say that, right? He says then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches. So we gotta understand like what is a plan, like and how are we going to implement this plan to acquire these riches. So one thing I noticed was one thing that I personally do is I study people who have exactly what it is that I want, right? I will read this book, I'll read biographies, I will study mentors of mine and just absolutely figure out like what are they doing to become rich, because I hear all the time that success leaves clues. And so like what are they doing and can I emulate that to get the riches that they are getting, right? So that's why I actually decided to start doing these lives, because I noticed that my mentor actually does a live every day. He's done well over 1,000 episodes, and he's one of the most wealthiest men I know. So that's why I got into this. But it's that idea of the planning. The planning is the key because it helps you really get out of the rat race. Like I'm gonna be straight up. I'm kind of in the rat race right now, even though I'm a professional salesman and I'm working for my pay. I am still kind of in that rat race. And every night, I dedicate like a little bit of time each night just to like think of a new plan, right? Because your plan, you gotta understand, your plan doesn't have to be perfect at first, but you gotta have a plan and follow through with it with action. So I want to ask you, like, what is your plan moving forward starting today, right? And don't worry about it being the best plan, but what is your plan starting today? And can you move forward with that, take action, and then evaluate the results of taking action on that plan? And it's about tweaking the plan, right? That's what I notice. There's four great questions. I think I read a book from Tony Robbins, and it was this ultimate success formula. Um, it was four great questions he asked himself, and it pertains directly to this. It's like the perfect formula for what I'm talking about. But I'll have to remember that if that comes back to my mind. Anyways, okay, so next in the book, we talk about 6 steps to really just start, right? So we talk about the method. So we're on page 26 still. The method by which desire for riches can be transmuted into its financial equivalent consists of 6 definite practical steps, right? I'm not going to read them over to you because that's boring, but I'm going to show you exactly in one simple way that you can follow these 6 steps, because we're talking about, this is a manual guide to get rich, right? So I've printed out these goal cards, and I can link a Google Doc down below in the thing. But essentially, all you got to do is print out the Google Doc, fill it out, and then what I did was I personally found that baseball cards are great for slipping it in, making it professional, but having that goal card with you at all times, right? And you'll see it'll probably be backwards, but it says, "I'm so happy and grateful now that," and then you write your goal, and you have a date on it, right? So it's all a simple template, but I say this to say that this is essentially the 6 steps that he talks about in the beginning chapter on desire. The first step towards riches is just come up with a goal, tell what you want, when you want it by, and what you're willing to give. That's something I learned. I always talk about and think about what I want, but it's like, what am I willing to give to receive it? Because you got to understand that there's laws of this universe, right? Remember Newton's third law that you learned in like physics class in high school? It's like, if you push on an object, that object's going to equally push back, right? It's kind of this law of cause and effect, as Emerson put it back in the day, right? So it's essentially what you give, you will equivalently receive. So you understand how are these people becoming so rich? It's because they're finding out ways to give more value. It doesn't have to be hard labor, right? Like I've been chilling in my house all day, but I've been providing service in the terms of professional sales, right? Like I'm selling a very great quality product, and the value of this product is really giving these companies a lot of success and really increasing their revenue. And in terms, I will receive an equivalent amount for the service that I provide. But understand, like it's only to the extent that I am helping them or providing them with service. So what the rich do is they don't think about what they can get. They think about what they can give. So that's something that even myself, I have to change when I think about like what is it that I truly want. Okay, cool. And I want to emphasize the 6th step in this page. So what I want you to do is, like, after you watch this video, is just actually read these 6 steps yourself to get a better understanding. I've just figured, instead of reading them and boring you, just look at this image. These are the 6 steps. And in the 6th one, he says, read your written statement out loud twice daily, once before retiring at night and once after arising in the morning. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money, right? So you got this gold card, and the idea is to truly see it already done. Neville Goddard says this is called a state of the wish fulfilled, right? And what I notice that I personally am, I really got to emphasize this point on how important it is there's a difference between thinking of the thing you want and thinking from the thing you want. So what the truly, truly, truly rich do is they know how to think and act as if it's already done, as if you already are earning the amount of money that you have on your goal. So just this is a blank goal card, but I've got a ton of these, right? And I won't share my goal in this video. But I will say that what I want you to truly do is just like really think about this goal and think of it as already done. And what you got to do is bring that outer future state into the now. So your whole reality will shift as if you already are making that X amount of money that you said you want to be making. Then you got to act that as that person. So this will take time, but it's called The State of the Wish Fulfilled. And I highly recommend reading this book by Neville Goddard. It's called The Feeling is the Secret. And he really dives deep into how you feel yourself already in this state. And keep in mind, this is another author out there that is talking about state of mind, right? So I felt like state of mind is so interesting as it comes up in this book. And I notice a lot of other super successful people preach this idea of state of mind. So what state of mind are you thinking of your goal from? Are you thinking of it somewhere far off in the future, or are you thinking of it now? Okay, so and I'm gonna just keep reading things that I've underlined that I thought really stuck out to me. Napoleon Hill says, "If you truly desire money so keenly that your desire is an obsession, you will have no difficulty in convincing yourself that you will acquire it." Okay, and then I'm just going to read the rest of this page. The object is to want money and to become so determined to have it that you convince yourself you will have it. So this obsession, this desire has to become so much a part of you essentially that you truly do convince yourself you will have this money, right? I heard one person say it's not making all this money that was the difficult part. It was actually believing that I could make this money is the difficult part, right? So if you can truly convince yourself, and that's what we're going to do throughout these 13 principles, is truly go through the thought stimuli, the different factors that will truly make us believe that we can have this money. And then we got to act on it with definite plans backed by faith mixed with persistence, right? And then this is also interesting. This chapter 1, is the first time where it's brought up the idea of money consciousness. Napoleon Hill says that only those who will become money conscious ever accumulate great riches. Money consciousness means that the mind has become so thoroughly saturated with the desire for money that one can see oneself already in possession of it. So what does that mean? With all that has been said already, what does it mean to see yourself already in possession of the money you desire, right? That means that you have developed a money consciousness. And I'll read it again because this is key. It's going to pop up throughout the other 13 principles, but I really want you to understand that once you develop this money consciousness, this will be the dominating thoughts that will help you get rich. Napoleon Hill says that money consciousness means that the mind has become so thoroughly saturated with the desire for money that one can already see oneself in possession of it. So what does that mean to you, I guess? Like, right? Like it means something different to everyone. And given it's whether it's your first time hearing this or your 100th time hearing this, what does that mean to you that your mind is so thoroughly saturated with money that you can already see yourself in possession of it? I'll leave it at that. And it's interesting. So furthermore, I'm just reading more things I underlined. Napoleon Hill had the pleasure of interviewing Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, as he was making this. And Thomas Edison actually reviewed these 6 steps that he described and laid out in the chapter on desire. And Napoleon Hill says that Thomas Edison not only placed his stamp of approval on them, not only being the steps essential for the accumulation of money, but the necessary steps for the attainment of any definite goal. So what is this going through? Anything that you want, these are the first 6 steps in this chapter on desire to actually obtaining it and obtaining it with absolute certainty, right? I will say there is times where I do have doubt in obtaining this money, and one thing that has helped me get through this doubt is the fact that people far more advanced than me that were mega millionaires that I've studied, they understood the laws of nature so much better than I did that they actually say that it is actually by natural law that this has to happen. If you follow the 6 steps and see and feel yourself with this goal that you have written down in the morning and at night every single day persistently, backed by like with faith, backed by persistence, like it has to actually come because it's just the way nature works, right? And I can definitely get into this deeper, but like the way that if you just look outside, the way things are working, right? Like if you plant a seed, like you know with absolute certainty that if it is watered and nurtured properly, it will grow into a tree one day, right? And what am I doing with this goal card? We are essentially planting a seed in the earth or in the subconscious mind, and it will invariably grow into the reality, right? And another thing that making a goal card does is it takes it from the thoughts, like this, the invisible plane, the spiritual plane, whatever you want to call it, or from the intellect to the actual physical plane. Like it's actually a real thing at that point, right? I had a mentor named Bob once say that all he needed was a pen and a paper, and he could accomplish anything. So that's why I think this idea is so fantastic of having a goal card, and it really is the root of the first step towards getting rich. Okay, now we're gonna dive deep into more notes. Okay, so I'm going to read this paragraph on the bottom of page 29. We are who we who are in the race for riches should be encouraged to know that this changed world in which we live is demanding new ideas, new ways of doing things, new leaders, new inventions, new methods of teaching, new methods of marketing, new books, new literatures, new features for the radio, new ideas for moving pictures. All right. Now, I underline this. Napoleon Hill says, back of all this demand for new and better things, there is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. So I really think this idea is super interesting, right? He slips it into this chapter, right? This idea of definite major purpose. And if you actually study Napoleon Hill's work, you will find that in other books that he's written, he has dedicated the first chapter actually to definite major purpose. And I found it interesting that he didn't dedicate a chapter to it in Think and Grow Rich. He started out with the first step is a burning desire, but he says that you need to have that definite major purpose, which is the knowledge of what one wants and a burning desire to possess it. So what is truly, I guess the question truly is like, what do you really want? Like I gotta say, when I am thinking about definite major purpose, you're thinking like, oh my God, like what do I want? Like, does this mean like I have to fulfill like some God-given prophecy? Like, no, it means like literally what you want. Like, do you want to live on an island? Do you want to live on the beach of Miami on the 64th tower or the 64th floor of the Porsche Tower? Like, what do you really want? And it doesn't have to be like, like it doesn't have to be like in a religious term, like I don't want to go off the rails, but like it doesn't have to be like a thing that you would make your parents proud is what I'm saying, right? Or a thing that would make the church proud. Like screw all that shit, right? Like what do you want? Like do you want like a ton of money and you want to spend it like and just live a life with financial abundance? Like it can be that can actually fall under your definite major purpose. Do you want your own private jet, right? Like it doesn't have to be like I feel like for me it was a hard hurdle. Like, oh my God, my thinking about my purpose in life, do I have to um do I have to do something that the Catholic Church would be proud about? But really, like, nah, screw that. Like, it's whatever you want. And then, so what you figure out what you want, and then you have a burning desire to possess it. And this is just something else I underlined that was really encouraging. If the thing that you wish to do is right, right, like morally right, like as long as it's not negatively affecting other people and you believe in it, go ahead and do it. Put your dream across and never mind what they say if you meet with temporary defeat. For they perhaps do not know that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. So that's very inspirational. It really is like whatever you want to do. I know I'm asking you this question over and over, but whatever you want to do, if you believe it, go ahead and do it, is what Napoleon Hill is saying, right? And even if you get hit with temporary defeat, understand that you will receive a seed of like equivalent success, right? Like every failure brings with it the seed of equivalent success. Now, what does the seed of equivalent success mean? Right? It doesn't mean like, oh my God, you just got knocked down and the answer is right there, right? No, it's like the tiniest seed, the tiniest little tweak, right? And from my experience, I started a business. I actually started a painting business when I was 19, right? And I got hit with temporary defeat. And it knocked me off course because I had a goal to make $10,000 that summer before I went back to college. And it knocked me off course. And I was down and out for 2 weeks. But it really pushed me. It's like, okay, you got to start thinking even more than you were. Like, you actually got to start doing something different because the first way you did it wasn't working. You were kind of going through the motions. Now it's time to make a plan and back that plan up with action. Right. And this is encouraging. Remember too that all who succeed in life get off to a bad start and pass through many heartbreaking struggles before they arrive. The turning point in the lives of those who succeed usually comes at the moment of some crisis through which they are introduced to their other selves. All right. So understand that everyone that you see that's doing well, right? Like, social media is kind of like, it's a great thing and the bad thing because you see all the success and you're like, how did they instantly get that, right? You want that instant success. However, you got to understand that these people, even if they are successful and they're showing it off on social media, they've been hit with temporary defeat before and they've adjusted for it, and now they kept persistent through, and they have been met with like the success that you see. So you got to understand that people aren't going to post their failures online, right? I'm not going to be posting, oh my God, today I absolutely failed. From 11 to 12, I didn't make as many dials as I wanted to, right? I'm not going to be posting that or bragging about that. But you will see that even though I've been getting set back, it's like those silent defeats that nobody else knows about but me. Understand that I kept going, and now I'm at where I'm at today, right? And it's not where I want to be 100%, but like I am at a further position than when I first got started. So understand that even though like really it's a question of like how do you want to get started, right? Like that's what my mentor Sean used to always say. How do you want to get started? Because I found that like once you get started on it, it's not gonna all come at once, but like the key was getting started. And I'm truly grateful. I got started when I was 19 years old in just working on my dreams and doing what I wanted to do in life. And I've been persistent ever since. And even though I've had some temporary defeats, some downtime, some times where I wasn't actively pursuing my goals, right? Like at least I got started. And that's really the key. Okay, I'm gonna end this off because we're approaching the 30-minute mark, right? I'm gonna end this off with one amazing quote that I absolutely love that I want to share with you. It's on page 36 in the deluxe version, right? Napoleon Hill says, there is a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. Now, check this out. The state of mind, here's the state of mind again. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Open mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, and belief. Okay, so now we're talking about a state of mind known as belief. And you'll soon find out that as I go into the next episode, we're going to talk about the state of mind known as faith, right? And so it's the second principle to acquiring riches. So there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Open mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, and belief. So I really want to ask, like, what do you like? What did you learn about that sentence? What struck out to you during that one, and what do you like about it? Because that's a deep sentence. I'm gonna absolutely dive into that furthermore because like down the road, like that sentence itself was so key, and it's about understanding what that means. So I guess I'll end it off there. There's still some great things I underlined. Like our only limitations are those that we set up in our minds. Um, and then Napoleon Hill goes on to just talk about how his son Blair was born without ears and how he planted this desire in his son's mind, and his son was actually able to hear, and not only hear but take advantage of this misfortune and absolutely capitalize on it. So that is the summary of Desire, right? We're approaching 31 minutes, so I'm going to end it off here. I'd love to hear from you. What'd you learn? What'd you like from the first principle of getting rich on Desire, right? Like what thoughts came to mind? What is something new that you can do now? Just hearing like it kind of condensed. And yeah, so I appreciate you all for watching. As always, until we meet again in time and space, bye for now, everybody.